Giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And a sincere shalom to the Akim that's out there pushing the sincerity and the truth and the sound doctrine. This is going to be I'm going to make this as brief as possible. All right. I was just meditating on this certain subject. Some of us as brothers, right, really do need to shut the hell up, man. Right? You can tell by the title. Some of us need to shut the hell up. What do I mean by that? Because this is towards myself too. So what do I mean by this? What I mean is when you're getting got on and you're getting rebuked, for something, even if you feel like you feel like you didn't do wrong, man, just be quiet. There's a reason why you're getting got on. Okay? There is a good reason why you're getting got on. See, a lot of us, man, a lot of brothers, some brothers really, really don't see the spirituality of things, man. And we always constantly have to remind brothers, you gotta practice what you preach, man. You stand out there on the highways, on the hedges with garments, and you do these lessons in these videos, but you have a problem getting got on. You have a serious problem. You gotta really consider your position in the truth, man. Right? What does it mean by being Let's go ahead and get that real quick. What the hell does it mean? What do you think it means by being a disciple? What is in the word disciple? All right. Then the word that's in disciple is discipline. All right. The word that's in disciple is discipline. It says one who follows another for the purpose of learning. Okay. Pupil, student, follower. What the hell do you think being a pupil, a student, and a follower, what do you think comes with that? Rebuke, correction. When you're learning, you're going to get corrected. All right? Rebuke is going to fall down on you, man. Correction is going to happen. Sometimes it could be hard. Sometimes it could be a little lenient. Some Jake make it harder. It could be lenient at first, but then it starts getting hard because Jake always got rebuttals. And that's what I mean by some of us need to shut the hell up, man. When you getting got on, just take it. Stop trying to defend yourself, man. Stop trying to defend yourself, right? This seems to be a big problem with Jake, is they're always defending themselves. And then I'll tell you one thing that gets me after I read this scripture, right? Proverbs 15-31, because I'm not going to keep rambling on without reading the scripture, because this is I'm telling you, man, this is very important. All right, because like I said, I see a lot of Jake do this, man. Always with the rebuttals. You get got on, just take it, man. It's not even. It doesn't even gotta be all that serious, man. Just take it. You know what I mean? Just be quiet and just take it, man. All right. Proverbs 15-31. It says, "The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise." Okay? Keep that in mind. "He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul." When you sit up there and try to defend yourself and try to make up all these excuses, BS excuses, mind you, all right? Because every excuse that I hear every time somebody gets got on, every excuse that I hear is complete BS. I'm just putting it out there. It really is. There is never any good excuse. It never is. I don't care how, even when I did it, because really recently I haven't, but even when I did it, you know what I mean? All them damn rebuttals and stuff like that. It was never good. It was never a good excuse. In fact, it made things worse. You want to know why I made things worse? Because all I had to do was just sit up there and take heed to it. I'm not when we say take the rebuke, I'm not telling you to sit up there and just, con. Yeah, that's yep, con. No, I mean actually take that rebuke. I'm talking about listen to that rebuke. I'm talking about live by that rebuke. I ain't just sitting up. It ain't a matter of just saying, yep, come on. And you still in your mind just festering all these demonic thoughts about, well, I'm still right though. I'm still right though. You know what I mean? No, I'm talking about you better live by those rebukes, man. You better take those rebukes. And what does it mean by yeah, taking it all in, man? Right? Taking those rebukes, man. Live by those rebukes. Because a lot, like I said, a lot of Jake, they don't look at the spirituality of things, man. You know, they don't look at the spirituality of things, right? It says, he that refuseth instruction, right, despiseth his own soul. It says, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. All right. Proverbs 15:33. The fear of the Lord, right, is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. You can't call yourself humble if you ain't got no honor. You can't call yourself a man of the Lord if you can't take a rebuke, man. And the thing that gets me too, right? The thing that gets me is after the entire, let's say you had a rebuke at the beginning of the camp. Let's say somebody got on at the beginning of the camp. Okay. You know, y'all salute. Okay. Boom. You do camp. Then here comes the end of camp. All of a sudden, here comes that same brother. You know, it's still trying to defend himself after the entire rebuke. And so it's like, here we go. We just restarted. All you had to do was shut the fuck up, man. All you had to do was shut the hell up. But it's too hard for Jake to do that. And again, if you can't do that and you're still sitting up there holding on to this stuff, right? Anybody that does that was holding on to it the entire camp. That is demonic. That is demonic. And that person needs to consider their position in the truth, because that is seriously demonic. We will not have that demonic influence in our camps, man, through the spirit of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. That cannot happen, and it will not happen. Like I said, through the spirit of the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. If you're doing that, then you're a carnal nigga, man. You can't take a rebuke. You can't be quiet for 10, 15 minutes without making an excuse. Then you're just carnal. You're a carnal nigga, man. That's what you are, man. You're carnal and you're a nigga. Because you ain't spiritual. You ain't spiritual. We've seen that. All of us, I'm sure, have seen that happen quite a few times. That at the end of the entire thing, you know what I mean? At the end of the entire thing, y'all going about y'all day, and here comes that same brother, still trying to defend himself after the entire thing. I'm telling you right now, that is demonic. And what did the scripture say? You are despising your own soul. You are despising your own soul when you do that. I don't know who some brothers think they hurting when they do shit like that. And if you watching this video, you know who you are, man. Right? You know who you are. It ain't gotta be in our camp. You know what I mean? It ain't gotta be in no specific camp. But if you somehow get offended by this video, then you know exactly who you are, man. Right? He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. That is crazy. That is crazy. Right? Proverbs. I'm going to get another scripture in Proverbs. I think a lot more brothers need to read Proverbs, man. Brothers that got this problem. All right. Proverbs 9:8. Reprove not a scorner lest he hate thee. Right? Rebuke a wise man and he will love thee. So it comes to a point where if you're not listening at a certain point, we ain't saying nothing to you because you're a scorner. You're either going to be suspended or you're going to be kicked out because you can't be quiet. You know what I mean? You can't be quiet. And more importantly than just being quiet, you being carnal, man. Right? You being a demon. And then we're going to have to look at you as a scorner and not a brother. Because they said don't reprove a scorner. Meaning what? Let me get this in another translation. Let's get it in the NLT. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser. Teach the righteous. Oh, wait a minute. Oops, sorry. So don't bother correcting mockers. Yeah, if you one of them brothers that always got a rebuttal, always got an excuse, a bad excuse at that, man. Right? You're a mocker. And the scriptures tell us not to bother even correcting you. You're a mocker. And mockers are looked at as what to us? Pieces of shit. So a brother that really can't be quiet during the rebuke and then turn around and still try to defend themselves hours later, you're going to be looked at as a piece of shit to us, man. Because you being a demon. You're a mocker. You're a scorner. We not going to bother correcting you, man. It's seriously demonic, man. And like I said, you're not looking at the spiritual. I did a video on this not too long ago. There's a lot of Jake that look at the negative parts of rebukes instead of looking at the positive. It's just like, man, I need to go ahead and get my stuff together, man. I need to go ahead and get my stuff together, man. Because even if you feel like you right, which you honestly you really shouldn't during the rebuke. You should be shamefaced. You know what I mean? I know we say that. I know I say that a lot. Yeah, even if you feel like you're right. Nah, man, if you're being rebuked, then that means you're wrong about something, man. Whatever it is you may be getting rebuked about, you wrong about something. Right? You wrong about something. Everything is through the spirit of the power of the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. So no, there is no even if you feel like you're right. If you feel like you're right during a rebuke, whether that be with anything, then you are a demon. You are a demon. Okay? Understand? You are a demon. There is no other way of putting it. You're rebellious. And what does the scripture say about what does the scripture say about the rebellious children, man? Right? Oh, let me get the KJV. Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children. Rebellious. Okay? Saith the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. This is coming straight from the Lord, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, that says, woe to you rebellious Israelites, man. Woe to you rebellious Israelites that can't be quiet, man. Right? It says that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So I'm going to tell you something, man. You adding sin to sin. If you out here, if you are getting rebuked and you all these damn rebuttals and all these damn bad excuses and stuff, man, you're adding sin to sin. You better remember that, man. You despising your own soul, man. And from there, it's all going to get worse and worse and worse. You're a demon. You got no place in the truth. You got no place calling yourself a disciple if you can't receive discipline. Talk about you give out discipline and you claim you this teacher, like I said, throwing on these garments and stuff like that, and you doing videos and stuff like that, but you possibly have brothers under you that look up to you, and they see that embarrassment of a, you know what I mean? They see that embarrassment. What are you teaching? What are you teaching, brothers? If you're getting rebuked, and like I said at the beginning of the video, because I can sit here and do this video and get rebuked tomorrow, and I find myself doing the same thing. Why do I say that? Because it's happened. Not the rebuke part, but it was something else I did a video on. And I found myself doing the same thing a week later, 2 weeks later. Right? So I say that for a reason. If you're getting, man, just take the rebuke, man. It's not a bad thing. It's not. Jake, I get it. You know, nobody really likes getting got on, but really, honestly, I don't want to say you should like it because, you know, you know what I mean? Like you're doing wrong. You know, you don't always want to get God on. There's scriptures about that too. For a person that's constantly getting God on about the same repetitive thing, you got a problem. All right. And don't sit up there and say, yeah, it's because I like getting God on. That doesn't make you a disciple either. What makes you a disciple is you receiving your correction and you building off of it. Okay, that's what makes you a disciple. You receiving your correction and you build off of it. You learn from it. So you do your very best not to do it again. All right. So don't use that thing. I'm saying that because I heard it before. It's because I like getting God on. You know, I love rebuke. Yeah, you gotta really be careful about how you talk. You know how you use that. Okay, because if you sit up there, really, if you love rebuke in that way, you got some problems. You need to really consider yourself in the truth. You need to consider your position in this truth, man. All right. Anyway, man, Lord willing, man, Lord willing, the message has been received through the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Man, just receive, just take the rebuke, man. Just take the rebuke. Jake talked too much. Right? During rebukes, during correction, during a counsel, Jake talked too damn much. Always a bad excuse. Yeah, well, it was this. Yeah, well, it was that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Anyway, giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, without Shalom.